I'm Austin Ilsley.
And I'm Lacey Ilsley. We're the owners of AI Painting Plus in Columbia, Missouri.
We do residential repaints, interior, exterior. We also do light commercial, interior, exterior. We like to say we're Columbia's premier customer service and people development company that just happens to paint houses really well. Yeah, so like when you use a wrong primer, say you use a water-based primer over something that is covered in silicone. That water-based primer is going to beat up on that silicone and not actually achieve full wetness. This is more scientific terms talking about surface tension and that kind of stuff. I won't get into that, but kind of looks like little spider webs that come across the surface. That's when you know you did not use the right primer. Or say there is an immediate paint failure in a relatively close time frame after you've completed the project. If you did everything right, there's a chance that shouldn't happen. If you didn't do something right, there's a chance you did something wrong and used the wrong primer, and that would be indicative in the top coat failing or the primer itself failing. I like to use water-based primers anywhere we can, especially inside. No one likes to have oil-based primers being used in their homes. You know, a lot of the repaints that we do, the trim is oil-based. You know, it's been painted years ago. It's oil-based trim. Instead of going back with an oil-based paint or primer, we want to convert it to water-based. So if it's painted and you don't have to worry about any tannins bleeding through, we like to use a water-based primer to create a bond coat between that and our water-based enamel, whatever it may be. So essentially we're converting the entire house now into water-based trim, and we're not having to use any oil-based products to disturb the clients. So you still need to use the oil-based primer if you're, say, converting oil wood stain trim to a painted trim, because again, it gets back to the tannin bleeds. That wood is old, it already has a coating on it, so something has been forced in that there are probably some tannins bleeding through. You just can't see them because there's a clear coat on there. If you put a water-based coating over those tannin bleeds, you're gonna notice them. So you still need the oil-based primer to block those tannins if you're converting oil-based or stain trim to painted trim. So we use shellac in odor sealing projects. We mentioned like smoke damage. It dries so quick that we would use shellac to seal in the smoke damage. You can also use it to block tannins. You can use it to prime oil-based trim, but it's more friendly using shellac in a situation where you can spray it because it does dry so fast and it can be difficult to brush and roll just at the pace that you have to actually move in order to keep it flowing. But again, using it for a primer under lacquers, it's perfect. It creates a perfect barrier coat for the lacquer to bond to that the lacquer won't essentially just eat before it's ready to get painted. So for safety precautions, obviously for anything, respirators. Always wear a respirator. Even in water-based paints, there are things that you do not want to breathe in that should not go in your lungs. Oil primer and shellac primer specifically, obviously respirators are important. They're odor, and they can actually cause neurological damage if you inhale too much of it. Also wearing gloves. The solvents in oil-based primers and shellac are really volatile, and they do actually seep into your pores. And it takes, I can't remember, somebody told me this one time, it was actually a makeup consultant that said, the things that hit your pores actually absorb into your bloodstream within like 20 seconds. Think about the damage that can cause. Wear gloves whenever you're dealing with this stuff, like cleaning up in your paint thinners or your denatured alcohol. You do not want to submerge your bare hands into these things. That can also cause chemical burns, irritate your skin, all kinds of different stuff. It's just not something you really want to mess with. You should always use quality products because there is a difference. The old saying does reign true that you get what you pay for. Especially in the paint world, quality products are important because they are priced based on the things that are in the paint. The volume solids that are in the paint, titanium oxide's a big one. It's pretty much the bee's knees. It's what makes paint good or not good. What solids are in the paint that you're using? Typically cheaper line paints, they don't have a high volume of solids. When the solvent, whether it's water, oil, whatever it is, evaporates from that, there's very little left on the surface that's actually protecting whatever you're trying to protect with the paint.